guys, and welcome to Odds on Copa Libertadores final of this tournament in South America. And as always, that we have teams in South America. We have Leo Bachanian with us. Hello, Leo.
Hello, Edu. How are you?
I'm really good. Excited to see this final.
Yes.
It was not the one that we expected because Athletico Paranaense are here and not Palmeiras, but let's analyze this Flamengo Athletico Paranaense. Remember, guys, leave your comments. Don't forget to tell us your tips for this game, and of course, press the like and subscribe. The first thing, Leo, that we have to take a look if we want to bet on this game, of course, is the odds to win the tournament. And it's no surprise that we have Flamengo favorites 1.22, Athletico Paranaense odds are 4 for them to win the tournament. If we go for the outright market, Flamengo to win 1.59, draw 4.3, Paranaense 7.2. This is not the final you expected, no, Leo? Because you expected Palmeiras here.
Yes, I expected Palmeiras, I guess, as many people, Edu, and we were close, actually, to see a Flamengo Palmeiras, because at some point on the second leg, Palmeiras was 2-0 up at home, and with that result, they were like heading to Guayaquil, where the final is going to be played this Saturday. But in 15 minutes of madness from the Verdao, plus the help of the Uruguayan referee 𝐋𝐞𝐿, leave us with the Paranaense in the final. Flamengo, Edu, looking forward to Saturday, trying to live the third Copa Libertadores in their history after winning in 1981 and 2019. Paranaense is their second final. They never won the Libertadores. They lost their only participation in a final. That was 2005 in another all-Brazilian final. That was against Sao Paulo. So, of course, the hopes are there for the Paranaenses fans. Edu, this final being played, the final being played at one game only in a neutral country, in this case in Ecuador, in Guayaquil, it still is a kind of like an alien idea, isn't it, in South America, in terms of like the football culture we have there. Of course, at the heart of this decision was the thinking of a greater financial return for the CONMEBOL. But so far, it seems that the decision not only provoked backlash among fans, but also among the continent gods, from the Pachamama to South Georgia and all of them together, because now, just this week, actually, a few days before the final, there is a yellow warning for a volcano eruption in Ecuador. Then you will remember in 2019, the final was supposed to be played in Santiago in Chile, but because of the protest against the government, they moved it to Lima. In 2020, the final was played at Maracanã, but at the back of the pandemic, so Maracanã looked pretty empty, and Maracanã without fans is like a city, is like an abandoned city in a way. Last year in Montevideo, I cannot remember any troubles, to be honest, but now we have this volcano eruption warning. We don't, and the Guayaquil Stadium, the Barcelona of Guayaquil has like, it's almost 60,000 seat stadium, but they managed to sold only 15,000 so far, and 13,000 of them are for Flamengo, and CONMEBOL is giving away actually 2-for-1 tickets for local fans. So anyway, I really hope that nothing will happen from here to Saturday. They won't move it to another city. So I don't know the odds on that, but hopefully they still gonna play it in Guayaquil.
Maybe we have a prop bet about playing in Guayaquil or in other South American city. You mentioned the final in Montevideo. Flamengo was there against Palmeiras. Now they have in their hands the vendetta, and it's fair to say that in these 2 years, also last season, Flamengo has been the best team in the continent. They lost the final, but they were the favorites. and they are thrashing every single team in this competition.
Yes.
They won the last 8 games in Copa Libertadores. They only draw against Talleres de Córdoba in this edition of the Copa Libertadores. They have the top scorer of the competition. So everything we can say talking in the South American continent about Flamengo is positive in the last 2 years.
Absolutely, Edu, and now going into the football and leaving the Pachamama aside, for me is clear, Edu, and it's of course anyone looking at the odds, Flamengo is the favorite here. They have a better team than last year, even though yes, you mentioned they lost the final against Palmeiras in Montevideo, and they have been playing even better as well than last year. And then when you look at the way they arrived to this final, the differences couldn't be bigger. Let's go into that if you want. Paranaense finished behind Libertad in the group stage with 10 points. Let's remember they were very close to get out of the competition at that stage. They lost 5-0 in Bolivia against the strongest in the altitude of La Paz, but in the end they managed to get through. They faced again Libertad in the last 16, and they qualified to the quarterfinal with a 3-2 on aggregate. In the last 8,
scoring at the end.
Yes, exactly. And in the last 8, they played against Estudiantes, and they went through with the finest margins as well. 0-0 at home, and then 0-1 win in Buenos Aires with the goal in the 95th minute of the match, product of the David Terán's header. Now we can move on to the semifinal. Another 3-2 on aggregate, winning the first leg 1-0, but drawing, as I mentioned before, 2-2 the return in a game which they were 2-0 down. So they were lucky in the return leg with Palmeiras in Sao Paulo. Not only, okay, yes, they show great spirit. Of course, they went from 2-0 down to 2-2, but the game could have gone a different way. 𝐿𝐸𝐧𝐧𝐶𝐞𝐜 didn't show a red card to Santana when the game was 1-0, did not sanction a penalty. I cannot believe yet why the VAR did not call him when Fernandinho made the clear penalty in the second half with the match to 2-0. And again, David Terán, the hero, as he was against Estudiantes, he made the 2-2 in Sao Paulo. And you know, I mentioned before as well that the Paranaense played a final in 2005. Do you know who played in those 2 finals back in 2005 and who's going to play on Saturday?
Fernandinho, yes.
Exactly. Exactly. Fernandinho, unbelievable, the longevity of Fernandinho. And I guess Paranaense fans as well, trying to grab every single hope they can find on the way. They could see that Paranaense, let's remember, they won the Copa Sudamericana last year. As Flamengo was losing the Libertadores against Palmeiras, Paranaense was winning the Copa Sudamericana. So they will try to emulate River Plate, who won the Copa Sudamericana in 2014, and the year after they managed to win the Copa Libertadores. And again, going back into how they arrived to this final, we could see how bumpy it was for Paranaense, and for Flamengo, so much different.
We have to remember who is the manager of Paranaense, by the way.
Oh, by the way, yes, Luis Felipao Scolari.
Exactly.
Luis Felipao Scolari.
A great man in football history, of course.
Absolutely, and someone who knows how it is to win Copa Libertadores, while Dorival, Flamengo's manager, he's never been into a Libertadores final. But anyway, this Flamengo won 11 of the 12 games they played, drew the other one. 8-1 aggregate in the last 16, 3-0 aggregate in the quarterfinals, and 6-1 in the semifinals with Vélez. 17 goals scored in 6 games in the knockout stages, and only 2 conceded. We know that Arturo Vidal, King Arturo, will play, Edu. I'm saying this because he posted some videos in a clinic on Monday, but the understanding is that he's going to be fit to start. The same goes for Thiago Maia, an amazing player there in midfield. The one who is traveling with the squad but won't be used by Dorival is the Uruguayan Guillermo Varela. They could have rushed him, I believe, to play on Saturday, but the World Cup is just in the horizon, and I believe I decided not to risk it. So Edu, all said, yes, Flamengo clear favorite here. To be honest, for me, it will be the biggest surprise in a long time. And the thing we know for sure is that we're gonna have the 4th Brazilian team in a row winning this competition, and I believe it's something we're gonna have to get used to more and more and more.
And even if we check the head-to-head between these two teams, of course, they play in the same competition in the Brasileirão. The last game was a 5-0 for Flamengo, and they also met in Copa do Brasil, and the victory was for Flamengo. If we take a look at the individual markets, Leo, let's dip a little bit into the big players we are going to see in the final. The top scorer of the Copa Libertadores is Pedro from Flamengo, and of course we also have 𝐜𝐵𝐵𝐽l. If you want to bet on individual players to score a goal, to score from a penalty, something that it calls your attention from Flamengo or from Paranaense, what would be your choice?
I was thinking about this, and for me, 𝐜𝐵𝐵𝐽l scoring from a penalty is something that could easily be happening, because Paranaense again, and I was looking at the yellows or the cards market, and I know Paranaense's players, they received 4 yellows in the second leg with the Estudiantes, and 4 yellows on each leg with Palmeiras, and they've been very lucky not to suffer a penalty, as I said, in the second leg against Palmeiras. So knowing pretty much that Flamengo is going to be on the front foot, that Paranaense is going to have to dig very deep in order to get something, that they're going to have to be playing very close to their own goal, a situation where Flamengo is facing a penalty in their favor is something that could really happen in this game, because the pressure is going to be there from the very top, from the very first moment. So yes, 𝐜𝐵𝐵𝐽l, who's in charge of penalties, even though Pedro is the goal scorer of the team, 𝐜𝐵𝐵𝐽l, there is a penalty, is 𝐜𝐵𝐵𝐽l the man. And Paranaense to get over 3.5 yellows, again, for a team who's going to be conservative, for a team who's going to be defending most of the time, Paranaense over 3.5 yellows is at 2.1. So again, as well, something that we'll be looking at, Edu.
I'm checking the squad of Flamengo in Oddspedia, and we have so many important players that played in Europe. Diego Alves, the keeper, David Luiz, the defender. We have King Arturo that you mentioned, the Arrascaeta. So there are Everton Ribeiro. So many options for Flamengo. In your opinion, if you go for the outright market, you would choose, I guess, Flamengo. Would you go for, because the odds are quite low, as we mentioned, would you handicap it? Not because it's a final. What would you choose as a good odd for this outright market handicap, first half, second half?
Exactly. That's what I have written, because yes, you mentioned before, Flamengo to win at full time is at 169. So for better odds, I will look at Flamengo winning the first half, which has better odds of 2.2. So I'm looking forward for that one.
All right. And talking about goals, you mentioned the firepower of Flamengo in this Copa Libertadores. So many goals scored even in the playoffs. Paranaense, they had more difficulties, but they are good at keeping it tight, as resilient. If we check the goals market, Leo, we have over 2.5 goals. It pays 2.18. This is a final. Usually the teams are very cautious. Would you expect a game with goals or no?
I still expect game with goals. My going is for goals over to 2.5. The players we mentioned, the firepower in Flamengo is there. Last night, even playing with substitutes against Santos, they scored 3-2, they won. And Paranaense lost at home 1-3 against Palmeiras last night in the Brasileirão. So yes, goals over 2.5 would be my selection here at 2.18. And just following what I said before on Flamengo winning the first half with better odds than the Flamengo winning at full time. I will also be looking, Edu, at half-time, full-time market with Flamengo coming top on both, which comes with odds even higher, 2.45 for that half-time, full-time market, Edu.
All right, we are fully back in Flamengo. You think they are gonna win? Do you think Paranaense can grab a goal? We have both teams to score is 2.2, both teams to score no, 1.73.
Yeah, I could go for definitely for the both teams to score, Edu. Even though Flamengo, I mentioned how favorite they are, they have power. You know, there is always some a lack of concentration back there. David Luiz is quite prone to that, but I could see yes, definitely Paranaense scoring, although a goal which might not be giving them the chance to lift the trophy, but a goal that might make those goals over 2.5 worth it to look, and also both teams to score. Yes, absolutely.
All right, in this Copa Libertadores, Flamengo played 12 games, 6 of them ended with both teams to score, 50%. We have a piece of this kind of stats in Oddspedia. You can check it in our Copa Libertadores page for Paranaense. 4 out of 12, so 33% of the games ending in both teams to score in this competition. Well, Leo, we have the final on Saturday. Anything else that you can tell us that you would bet on? Anything else about this Flamengo Paranaense?
I have made a safe bet and also an ACCA for this final. I don't know if you want to go with that, even though it's only yes, of course, one match. A safe bet. I will go for a Asian handicap 0 for Flamengo. 1.31 there. You can even go, yes, for Flamengo lifting the trophy. You mentioned the odds before at 1.2 for that. And a small ACCA all about the final. I could put together an Asian handicap 0 for Flamengo. I could put Flamengo winning at full time, and Paranaense over 3.5 yellows. With these 3 options will leave us with a total of 4.64 for all this Brazilian final in Guayaquil, which I hope is going to be a good game to watch as well, Edu, and a game to enjoy. And again, I'm expecting Flamengo to leave their third Copa Libertadores in their history.
Great, Leo. Let's watch it. Let's enjoy it. You have now more insights about this great final, some options for you to bet. So remember to tell us, what do you think about the final? And of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to press the like and subscribe. Leo, always a pleasure to analyze South American football with you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.